What is up, everybody? So this is our 8-question series on word problems. These are 8 questions you absolutely must know for the PSAT, SAT, and ACT. Let's get into it. So this question looks like it's a little challenging, but we actually can use one of our main strategies for this. So we have the value of a new car decreases at a steady rate of 10% each year. What is the total percentage loss to the nearest integer in the value of the car at the end of 5 years? So we have a percentage question. We don't have a starting value, so what can we start with? 100. So let's do that. We'll start with 100. It's asking what happens at the end of 5 years. So let's just chart this out. So we have 100 at the end of 1 year, at the end of 2, at the end of 3, at the end of 4, and at the end of 5. Now what happens? It's decreasing by how much each year? 10%. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to go step by step working with the 10%. So here's what that looks like. We started with 100. Now let's do 10% of 100. And remember, when we're doing a percent of 100, 10% of 100, it's just 10. It's just the number that we're doing the percentage of. So what do we have here? 10. That's how much the loss is going to be. So what do? We subtract 10. And so what do we know at the end of 1 year? It's 100 minus 10, which is 90. Now, what's happening again? We lose another 10%. So now we have to do 10% of 90. So what are we going to do? 10% of 90. Now remember, this percentage, to turn it into a decimal, we move 2 places to the left. So we have 0.10. Of means multiply, 90. And what do we have here? 9. And what's happening? Again, this is a decrease. So what do? 90 minus 9, which gives us what? 81. Now what do we have to do? We have to do 10% of this number. So we're going to do 10% of 81, so that's 0.10 times 81. What do we get here? 8.1. And again, it's a decrease. So let's subtract. And what do we get? Now we're at year 3, and what do we have? 72.9. Now, what do? 10% of this number. So let's do it. 10% of 72.9, 0.10 times 72.9 is 7.29. We subtract it. 72.9 minus 7.29 gives us 65.61. Okay, so now we got to do it one more time because we're at 4 years. Remember, we're concerned with 5 years. Look at all our answer choices. None of them have any decimal places. So we're fine so long as we do what? Just go 2 decimal places, right? Okay, so now we do 10% of 65.61. And so what are we going to get here? So 0.10 times 65.61 is going to give us 6.56. So now what are we going to do? We're going to subtract. We get 59.05. So at the end of 5 years, we got to 59.05. And listen, some of these problems, what happens is it's just a little bit of tedious math that we just have to go through the steps. What's it asking? It's asking what's the total percentage loss in the value of the car at the end of 5 years. So what did we start with? We started with 100. What did we end with? 59.05. So all we do is subtract here, and what do we get? That gives us 40.95. What's the closest answer choice to that? 41. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Make sure to watch the rest of the videos in this series to get the help that you need for the PSAT, SAT, and ACT. And make sure to check out our other series. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe, because this is obviously the best thing that's ever happened to SAT prep. There we go. And I love it. I think that's the one.